there, fictional friends, and welcome to another episode of Fully Booked. I'm Megan.
I'm Arthur.
And it's the last week of April, finally, and maybe eventually it will be spring here.
Don't count on it.
Oh my God, it's horrible. It's just cold.
All the time.
It's just cold. I mean, like, whatever, it's spring, it's going to rain a lot. That's fine. It just happens and that's normal, but like, it's really cold. It should be warmer by now.
It's tricking us. It's following the theme.
Aha. Yeah, that's it. We're finishing off our last week of coverage of Fools and Tricksters.
Yeah.
That's it. For the month of April. As usual, obviously, this is also, in tandem with the website at fullybooked.ca, where we always have, regular stuff being published over there. So you can go and check that out too.
Themed and unthemed content.
All of it.
All of it.
All
There's one article that went out last week that was, how the hell did a book with only 444 ratings end up on the bestseller list of Amazon?
That is a good question.
Yeah, exactly. Go find out.
Go find out. Go look at it. We're clickbaiting you from the podcast.
It's not clickbait. It's actually really cool.
I'm sure it is. Anyway, so we're closing things out for the sort of Fools and Tricksters month that we have. So I guess to close things out on a light note, because we did kind of talk about some more serious stuff last week. Shutter Island has, some pretty serious themes and pretty serious content in it. We decided that we would play a little game to finish out
another one. We like the last one we did.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we just like these now. I think this is going to be a thing that we like to do. So, keeping that in mind, we decided that today we were going to play a bit of a game where we kind of quote unquote trick each other.
I'm going to trick you.
Okay. You're really determined into wanting to read books that maybe each of us wouldn't regularly pick up necessarily. So essentially what we're going to try to do is to give each other, we each have some books. We put together some bullet points for each of them. And what we're going to try to do is just give kind of a vague description of the plot, but with enough maybe interest in it to maybe convince the other person to want to read that book. And then when we kind of make up our mind about that, we'll reveal what the actual book is and kind of what it's about. So we're trying to keep things vague enough that you can't just guess what the book is about. And hopefully that means you actually want to, to read it. I'm wondering, we did not talk about this before, but I'm wondering if we do this and it works a couple of times at least, let's say we do 3-4 books each, whatever it is, and it works a couple of times and I trick you, does that mean you have to read that book at some point?
No.
Yes. I think we should do that. I think we should make it into a thing where if I trick you or if you trick me, we have to read those books.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay, fine. This year at some point.
This year.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
The last day of the year.
No. Since when do you read a book in a day? No.
Fine.
Okay.
Make me sign a contract.
Yeah, I'm going to make you sign it after we stop recording. Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What should we do?
I'm going to start.
Okay.
I'm going to start with, don't look.
I can't see.
Don't look at my notes. I need to trick you. Don't trick me by looking at my notes.
I don't know if that would be a trick or a cheat.
Okay. So, really cool thing.
Okay.
So, this book,
yeah.
Okay, it's about a brutal coming-of-age story.
Oh, God.
Okay, set in a, savage wasteland. Okay, a lone warrior must fight in the arenas and face terrifying beasts and deadly enemies, okay, to claim his place as a leader. Think, gladiators, betrayal, fight for survival against all odds.
Okay. I need to try to guess what this book is.
Yeah, or if you would be interested in reading it based on that. So I'm trying to go towards like fantasy stuff, but also something that fights and battles. Not for every one of them.
So
but,
so I'm not gonna lie. The description that you just gave me sounds like Gladiator, and no one here knows how I feel about Gladiator, but I don't have very positive thoughts.
I should have thought about that. You're not picking this up.
No, don't think so. Okay, but wait. Now keeping that in mind, fuck, what is this book?
It's stuff from recent,
It's a more recent release?
It's a recent release. It's recent from my readings. Most of them are, but not all of them.
Oh, is it your, Rhino?
Yeah.
Rise of the Warrior?
Yeah, nice.
I wasn't sure if that one actually involved like a sort of gladiator style, like having to go through trials or fight like different things. I wasn't sure because again, I haven't read it.
Kinda, not like necessarily in an arena. It's not a gladiator type movie, but yes, there is trials and everything. But yeah, yes, it is Rhino, Rise of a Warrior by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. Great book.
Yeah, you really like this one.
like a lot of people described it as like, just think Fallout mixed with Conan. That's or like God. Mad Max and Conan. That's
so
it's that.
Right
it's
up your alley.
So good.
This is right up Shireen's husband's alley too. I feel like he should read this book. I feel like Dan would appreciate this. Okay. All right, let's try my first one.
All right.
Okay, so I tried to put like bullet points to make things sound fun. Anyway, this novel basically is a team up between a doctor, a physician, and a circus performer who literally uses a motorcycle to jump through like hoops of fire at the circus. And they have to team up in order to help each other with different things, because I don't want to give the whole plot away.
So with what? The doctor's going to cure the guy who's jumping through hoops? Like, fix his broken legs?
There is a very mischievous and crafty raccoon who's always messing things up and ruining things, but kind of becomes their pet by the end of the book.
Did you read this book?
Yes. And you know how they say, like, oh, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye?
Yeah.
In this particular book, it's fun and games, but also somebody does lose an eye.
Is this like a Guardians of the Galaxy book?
No.
This is definitely a Guardian of the Galaxy book.
No, it's not.
I have absolutely no idea.
Does it sound interesting to you?
I mean, depends what the adventure is. The characters seem interesting. Mm-hmm. Like a bunch of misfits type of thing.
Yeah, it's very much. Yeah, it's very much a misfit
something.
thing.
What do they have to do? Like, what is the action?
They help each other cover up crimes.
Okay, then yeah.
Then yes.
I mean, probably. It sounds interesting.
Okay, cool.
It's not what I'm expecting it to be. You're lying to me.
I'm not. I'm phrasing it in a very particular way.
Okay, what is it?
It's Scythe and Sparrow by Brynne Weaver. So it's the third novel in the Ruinous Love trilogy. It's a dark romance.
I hate it.
And this also kind of means you have to read all three of them, because it's not going to make sense. No, but it's not going to make sense if you don't read the other two.
No, it's perfect. I'm going to start right in the middle.
No, you're not.
Oh, it's
That's
great.
The end. It's not even the middle.
Even better.
No, I'm
read
giving
the last
you the first
thing
one.
first. No,
it's fine. I couldn't tell you about the first one because I've chatted about it a bit on the podcast, and I didn't want to give it away. I'm sorry. So
whatever.
So okay, everybody, just keep this in mind. Arthur's reading Butcher and Blackbird before the end of this year.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Sorry, your turn. I'm so excited right now. This is a great game.
Okay, so this is a locked room murder mystery.
Okay.
That you might like. Mm-hmm. Except the room happens to be a very strange and isolated outpost where all the suspects are not exactly human.
Uh-huh.
Okay? But the person at the center of it is an amateur sleuth who keeps finding herself or himself at the center of death.
At the center of death. Wow.
Yeah. So it's got kind of like Miss Marple and a weird village energy.
Okay.
Very quirky, dangerous characters who may or may not be telling the truth.
Okay. That sounds fun.
That does sound fun,
genuinely,
right?
that sounds fun. Like, that doesn't sound like something I would hate reading, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that it's Station Eternity. Is it? Oh, I'm so much better at this than you are.
Okay, next time I'm going to need to dig much deeper into my reading history.
You're going to need to dig into your history,
stuff.
because it's more recent things. That's the only reason I'm guessing them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I had read the description for it at one point, because I think I bought the first two books in the series for you.
Yeah.
Because you're a Mur Lafferty fan already. So, but
Love
it sounded
great.
Really fun and like kind of quirky, because it's like a murder mystery in space. But not like a scary murder mystery, like a fun.
No, it's a fun one.
Mystery.
Yeah, it's very like witty and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So I appreciate that personally. Okay. Second book. Okay. So the second book, I guess I can't give very much away about it, but so I tried to narrow this down to like really small things. This is narrated from the perspective of a child. Okay, like the whole book. It doesn't flip perspectives. It's narrated by a child. I didn't know how else to describe this, so I just said the house isn't haunted, but the family in the house is haunted.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this novel very much reminded me of when you're a kid that closets are not safe spaces at all. They're horrible.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what the name is, but I remember because we spoke about it. It's like the haunted house that is...
Kind of.
It's... Okay, I'm not gonna remember the name.
No,
I'm
that's
not good
fine.
with names, but I do. I'm pretty sure I know the book. Like once you say it, I'm gonna figure it out.
So it's Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman.
Okay, that's not the one I was thinking of. But
No, okay, yeah. So it's Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman, which is told all from the perspective of a young girl who lives with her parents, and she's about 6, I think.
Okay,
and is kind of stalked essentially by some sort of demonic or otherworldly entity that wants to take her and consume her. The narrative, I would say, is it's very strange. Like it's like a very non-traditional, linear sort of told story because it's all like what the child is thinking at any given time, and kids don't think in a linear fashion, right? So it's not a traditional narrative, which probably makes it a bit more unsettling because when she then says something that's happening, you're like, oh God. It's very horrific and like very scary to read. But it's an interesting one.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it sound like something you'd actually be interested in?
Maybe. I mean, it's a horror one, so.
It is, yeah. Yeah. It's more of a horror one. It's actually, so Josh Malerman also wrote Bird Box for people who are familiar with that, essentially. Yeah. I would say, I haven't read Bird Box. We've only watched the movie. Personally, again, because when you do sometimes when things are well done with kids, they're fucking terrifying. So I would say that Incidents Around the House was like scarier than Bird Box that way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In my opinion, anyway.
All right. Yeah. I'll put it under my TBR.
Yeah. See, this one you won't complain about. You'll just be like, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. This one, you probably will get this one.
Okay.
But anyways, it's about an orphan child.
Okay.
Who's taken away from his life that he currently lives. That is not great. To a strange and ancient fortress. Where there is other people like him who are trained in a secret knowledge.
Okay.
But beneath the surface of the castle, there's dangerous secrets hidden that many would kill to possess, right? So he has to, defeat strange creatures, solve riddles, and be aware of the dark things gathering in the shadows, let's put it that way, around him.
Oof.
Well, so first, would you be interested in reading that?
Maybe. If it's not a secret sci-fi book, maybe.
Okay.
Is it a secret sci-fi?
No.
Then maybe. I don't know. And I'm really trying to think, what the fuck is this book? I don't know.
It's Harry Potter.
Okay. All right.
What?
But that doesn't make sense because I'm not going to read it again.
I'm just saying it's a trick.
Wow. Thank you very much for throwing that in there. Okay.
Ba-dum.
Wow, you're very proud of yourself right now.
Thank you very much.
If anybody could see the look on your face, they'd be like, wow, okay. All right, fine. That one doesn't count in the pile of things like to read because it's been read. It's done. So, okay. Okay, so my next one is essentially, it is inspired by, isn't exactly that, but it is inspired by and is more of a modern version of like a Lizzie Borden style murder.
Okay.
So like Lizzie Borden, famously allegedly killed her parents, like her father and stepmother and stuff back in the 1800s. This one is more modern. The murder took place in, I believe, 1929, and we're now in like the 80s. We've jumped several years. It's set on like a very isolated kind of mansion on the side of a cliff in Maine. And the lead character is trying to solve the mystery of that murder from decades prior by attempting to draw clues out of a woman who's mute and cannot communicate with her. You're blinking so much.
What?
Yeah. So essentially a Lizzie Borden style murder took place like years prior.
Yeah.
And this woman is like now trying to do this. She's trying to like figure out what actually happened.
The book is called Mute.
It's not.
By a very cool person.
It's not.
I have no idea.
Okay, but you're not giving me your opinion.
Does
it sound good?
It does sound good. If there is like a hunting horror element to it or something like that, yeah, could be cool. If it's just kind of like a solving murder mystery.
I would say the people are more haunted than like the house itself. They're haunted by the crime.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good crime, but sure.
But it's one of those, and I mean, like, it's like Lizzie Borden style because at the town in which it takes place, there's like a rhyme, like the Lizzie Borden rhyme, you know, that's about this particular murder.
Okay.
Basically.
Eh.
Wow.
It's like a 50-50 for me.
Fine. It's called The Only One Left by Riley Sager. It came out, I don't know, a couple years ago, I guess. It's one of Riley Sager's more recent ones. The cat is upside down right now. And that's essentially what happened. So it was back in, I think it was 1929. There was a woman named Lenora Hope who was accused of having killed, I want to say, her sister and her parents in their home very violently. She was never officially convicted of the crime. And she's just stayed isolated in that house for, 50, 60 odd years. Where now, ages later, a young woman who's desperate for a job takes a job as a care worker for her in her home because she's essentially like an invalid at this point, and she's mute. She doesn't speak. And while she's there, starts coming across certain things that seem really odd to her that are in relation to the murder. And so she starts looking into what actually happened and trying to figure out from Lenora Hope, who won't speak to her, what the hell's going on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that sounds cool in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Okay. So, how about this one? Okay. So it's basically The Haunting of Hill House, but on a derelict luxury cruiser. Okay. Ship. So it's a salvage crew that stumbles on a wreck of a long lost ship, only to find that dead passengers that are there are quite at rest. Okay. So there's, ghost whispers, there's visions, they're seeing a bunch of creepy stuff. And, while they're kind of exploring that, maybe there's someone who's watching from the shadow.
Okay. I know this is a sci-fi book.
Why? Ship.
Yeah, but because I'm remembering things that you've told me about this book before, and I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's 6 Wakes. It's not?
No.
Really?
Yeah, 6 Wakes is a murder mystery.
What it sounds like. Or one of the other ones. I don't remember. There are like a bunch of them that are like, I don't remember if it's 6 Wakes. I don't remember if it's Revenant X. I don't remember if it's something else. They're all mishmashing in my head right now. I can't remember which one it is. It's
Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might have had it in my TBR, and it's not necessarily that I read it, but I know it.
You did read this. This sounds really familiar to me.
It's not.
Which one am I thinking of? Where like the crew wakes up?
You're thinking of Revenant. No, sorry, you're thinking of Paradise 1.
Paradise 1, that's it. Where the crew wakes up or something and everything's gone wrong or whatever it is.
Well, no, so that's 6 Wakes.
Okay,
that's
see,
a crew,
I get them all confused.
Yeah, well, that's a crew that wakes up and they've been killed and they've been reprinted, essentially cloned, but they find their bodies and they're all dead and need to figure out who killed them.
Okay.
Paradise 1 is when a crew in a ship goes to a planet that is being guarded by like some kind of weird virus or some kind of thing that infects them, and then there's a whole thing that happens.
Okay. So it's different. All right, fine.
It's different.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Damn it.
Okay. My next book involves siblings who need to return to their childhood home, which they haven't revisited in years, which causes some trauma to resurface, particularly for the lead character, since she's not been back in ages after their parents pass away. They have to go back and clean out the house, essentially, to sell it. The tensions between the siblings are quite high because they don't get along very well. They're very different people. And there were things that happened when they were kids that, you know, again, kind of come back to the surface that are exacerbated not only by the circumstance, but also by like the house. Like the trauma in the house wasn't all like, oh, very dramatic the way that you think it was. Like when you think of like childhood trauma, you're like, oh, was there abuse? Was there this? Was there that? Like maybe some things to a degree, but also there's something wrong in that house. There's something not okay about it. And the last thing I will say is that this book features potentially the creepiest puppet character I have ever read in my fucking life. It's so scary. It's creepy. It's little. It's weird. And it freaked me out when I read it because I'm not a big fan of like puppets and dolls and stuff.
It's slappy?
It's not slappy. It's not slappy. It's not a Goosebumps book.
Okay, well, you threw me off with the whole puppet thing.
Nah.
It is Jigsaw.
What? That's a movie.
I don't know, an adaptation of the movie.
Oh my god.
I have no. So maybe sounds interesting. I would need to like learn a little bit more about it. But if there is a creepy puppet, like you're saying,
so spook,
who is or that is wreaking havoc and creating terror stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would have to be like not silly horror. You know what I mean? This sounds like something like creepy, fucked up stuff.
Yeah, it's I mean, I will say there's like a dark comedy element to it, probably because of the style of the author's writing and everything that they write. But
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yeah. We love Grady Hendrix over here.
Cool.
It's one of his slightly more recent releases, and it follows siblings, particularly the female character, the sister, is the person that we follow as the lead. Who their parents pass away, they go back to their childhood home to box everything up and put it away, but like she's very stressed just with everything in her life. She has a lot of anxiety, a lot of issues. Her brother is kind of like deadbeat ish essentially and isn't helpful, doesn't do much. They do not get along well, and I think returning to the home kind of reminds her of certain things that don't make sense that she experienced as a child, and in particular her mother had a fascination and an obsession with collecting old dolls and puppets. There was like one particular puppet that she was obsessed with that seemed really fucking weird at the time. And as they're trying to do all of this and get rid of the stuff in the house, boy, oh boy, does that puppet make a reappearance as a manifestation, I think, of a lot of the things from her life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's creepy. Very, very creepy.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a good one. I like that
That's
one.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, I have another one, maybe one more after that, but I don't know. Okay, so this one, I think you might like it. I think it combines a lot of stuff that you like. So it's a like a deadly lock room puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay. With necromancers.
Okay.
Sword fighters.
Interesting.
They're trapped in an ancient forest or fortress.
Okay.
Right. Trying to unlock secrets. Okay. So like there's skeletons and betrayal, snarky. It's kind of like a good combination of gothic horror meets dark fantasy with some serious attitude.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I'm
not sure what it is though.
Yeah, I mean that one's kind of like it's a high level pitch, I guess. Of this. It's Gideon the Ninth.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Gideon the Ninth. So I've never gotten into the series, but I know that there are at least a few books, if I'm not mistaken. In that, and I know it's like a combination like dark fantasy, a little bit of science fiction to a degree, but like no, I've heard of Gideon the Ninth. I think a review of it up on the site.
Yeah.
Actually, right? Yeah, that we had a contributor.
M did.
Yeah, and we did that one a little while back. Yeah, I could read Gideon the Ninth. Yeah, that's one I would.
Okay, nice. Okay, at least I got you that.
You got me with Station Eternity too.
I mean, that one's great. That one's just great. Reading it now.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
So this one involves a surprise murder at a B&B. Whoops.
Okay.
The main character is actually recovering from a loss and is sort of rediscovering her true power and the level of power. It features a family very quirky family full of witches. Everybody has some sort of magical ability, and they're all different from each other too. They all have strengths specifically and what they can do. Like one of them has like the power of like foresight and stuff, and the other ones have like specialized powers. And it's one of those that when you pick it up, when you read the description and you start it, it feels like a surface level mystery. But it actually really tackles like a lot of very real issues to do with like grief and trauma and recovery.
Jeez, that sounds heavy.
But it's done in a way that is like, it's a cozy mystery. So it's done in a way that
sounds
is
like one. When you said Airbnb, I was like, okay, that's
yeah. There's a murder at a
mystery.
B&B, basically. Yeah, that's it. So it sounds like one of those that's very surface level, but it does such a good job of balancing, in my opinion, anyway, the two sort of like some levity with the more serious issues that it's tackling.
Okay. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like some interesting elements to it. The latter part that you mentioned, maybe murder mystery. I don't know. That's a maybe.
God.
Like it's a maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you tell that we have different? We have different like opinions about these things. So the book is called In the Company of Witches by Arlie Wallace, and it's the first. There's only 2 books that are out so far because I think they had not continued the series, but I'm really hoping it can get picked up again. Of the, I think it's Evanfall Witches B&B mysteries.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love this book so much. It's so adorable, and it's also like a very quick read. Like you will get lickety split. You'll get through it super quickly. It is a cozy mystery, but it's like because of all of the things to do with like the magical elements of it, and like I said, some of the serious stuff in there as well that it tackles. I would say like pretty well overall. It is like if Gilmore Girls and Practical Magic had a baby, and we're like, here you go. That's kind of like the two things. Like a lot of people also compare it to Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I disagree. It's only because there's quirky ants in it. But there's quirky ants in Practical Magic that I find resemble the ones in the book more. And it has to do with, that's it, a woman who runs a B&B with her 2 aunts in a small town in Massachusetts, I believe. And that's it. There's a very irritating woman who's very opinionated and always complains about everything in town, who is killed in basically the lobby of their B&B. And of course, obviously they have to figure out what's happened and solve the mystery, as you do in a cozy mystery.
Of course.
While also the main character tackles the fact that she has not used her powers in quite a long time because she suffered a very personal loss about a year prior and hasn't fully like recovered from that or let herself feel like she can be herself anymore.
All right. I mean, that sounds like a cool mix of
it's very
what
good.
you mentioned there. So
it's very good. There's also, they all have like familiars and stuff, mostly cats.
Of course,
but there's like a very cool raven.
As you do.
Which is fun, So yeah, no, I really love it. It's a great series.
Okay. Cool. Love it.
Do you have any more, or are you done?
No, I'm probably done.
You're done. Okay. We could go on and on.
Yeah, that's it.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job. Okay, so we each wound up with what, like 2 books? Like 2?
Kind of, basically, yeah.
You basically 3 and me 2, I think, that we ended up with. Okay, all right, cool. I can't believe I'm going to get you to read Butcher and Blackbird. Just get ready for it, my friend.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Anyway, we're coming at you next week with obviously just a whole new slew of episodes for the month of May. We're taking things kind of
in a weird direction,
willy-nilly for the month of May. We're just going to play around a little bit and have some fun, I think, with the episodes that we're going to have coming your way at that point. So that'll be fun. Anyway, you can always obviously check out our backlog of everything, as well as all the stuff that we're publishing over on the website at fullybooked.ca. Follow our social media, of course. So Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, just search for Fully Booked CA and you'll find us over there. But until next week, guys, and hopefully some spring weather around here, keep on reading.
Ciao, guys.